What is up, you guys? I just woke up like an hour ago, and I just have some water. Alrighty. Got my Sunto, my brand new, well, not brand new, my pre-owned Sunto from eBay for around $80-ish, in the mail yesterday. Smells like it came from a smoker's house. Anyways, and no, I'm not married. I have like 50 different Christian engraved rings. I'll do a video on them. But this is Christian engraved. It says, Child of God, 9/6/2014. I got saved September 6th of 2014. Alright, so, this country is, well, not just the country, this world, the country, by the way, is United States, in case if you're wondering where I'm at. This world is not falling apart. It is falling into place. I keep seeing that places. This world is not falling apart. It's falling into place. Falling into place of what? The end times. Falling into place, and the rapture's going to happen soon. Then the 7-year tribulation is going to start. And this world is falling into place for what is about to come. Everything's fitting perfectly together, piece by piece, like a puzzle. You know, normal is not coming back. Normal has been gone for years. The apocalypse is at hand. The apocalypse, the 7-year tribulation. But God is removing us from this earth, all the born-again true believers in Christ, in the rapture before the apocalypse happens. So we're not going to endure the apocalypse. If you're a true born-again Christian, saved by Jesus Christ, or a child watching this, then you are not going to experience the wrath of God. You are going to heaven before the tribulation starts. Babies, children under the age of accountability. So the age of accountability, if you guys don't know what that is, God's grace, his sacrifice on the cross still counts because of his grace for people who are under the age of accountability that do not have the capability to understand what's right and what's wrong. So God, in his perfect grace and fairness and mercy, doesn't hold them accountable for their sins against him, because that wouldn't be fair if you went to hell for not knowing what's right and what's wrong. The people who are in hell are there because they knew the way to be saved. They knew in their heart the way of salvation. They knew it, but they rejected it. People under the age of accountability, even if they do know but don't have the understanding of what's right and what's wrong, are not held accountable for their sins. But that age can differ for person to person. 12, 13 could be above the age of accountability, and then 12 or 13-year-olds will still go to hell, but they won't be children in hell. They'll have adult bodies in their soul form. But that's only if they know what's right and what's wrong. Even if a kid commits mass murder, it's really sad actually, but there's children being trained to be terrorists in Iraq, and they're trained to use rocket launchers, and they blow people up. God isn't going to hold those kids accountable for their actions, because they don't know what they're doing is right or wrong. They don't understand. They don't have that capability yet to understand. And I know it sounds very terrible what they do, but God does what he does in his perfect grace. God is perfect what he does. So he takes them to heaven still, because they were, I don't know, they're brainwashed or into they don't understand what's right and what's wrong. So they still go to heaven if they are in fact under the age of accountability. If they're above the age of accountability, they will go to hell. But for half the kids in the entire world, above the age of accountability is like their late teens. Like, I don't know, like 16, 17, 18, something like that. So, yeah, anyways, guys, just don't expect this earth to get any better. Don't expect earth, the crime and the crap and the evil in the world to get any better, to decrease. Don't expect a decrease of evil in the world, but expect an increase of evil in the world. Because, evil is polluting this world more and more and more and more and more. That's why God is going to destroy the earth, the surface of the earth, by fire, by his holy fire, and cleanse the surface of the earth, which will cleanse the entire earth 100% of sin. So everything that existed before sin came into the world, there was no death, there was no bad storms, there were only tamed animals. You could ride on the back of a lion and not fear getting eaten. All of that stuff is going to come back. It's going to come back when God refurbishes the earth and restores it back to its original state before sin came into the world. But this time around, there isn't going to be any temptations to sin. There's not going to be any temptations because there's not going to be anybody around to tempt us. And we're not going to have a sinful nature either. We'll be in a new body, a body that's not that doesn't have a sinful nature. Our bodies, our sinful nature bodies, it's not always the devil and his demons that tempt us to sin. It's our bodies that do that too. So, but when we're on the new earth, when we are raptured, we're going to be transformed and we're going to receive new bodies like Jesus's. Holy, infinitely holy bodies. We're going to be infinitely holy. We're going to experience, our bodies are going to be compatible with God's glory, meaning, if you took this body right here to heaven in God's infinite glory, our bodies would be consumed because we're sinful and God is infinitely holy. So he would consume our bodies and they would just disappear or something like that, because they can't stand in the presence of God. Because our body, while our bodies while our soul, spirit, and our soul is righteous, made righteous because of Jesus, our fleshly bodies are still contaminated with sin. Otherwise, why would we need a transformed body in the rapture? Why wouldn't we just be able to use our literal bodies right here? Our sinful, I believe we will have these same bodies right here, but they won't be old. There will be no sin, no disease, no sickness, no death, no nothing. And our sinful natures will be removed 100% from these earthly bodies. But I believe it will be the same body, but they'll be transformed. Because when the rapture happens, the dead in Christ come out of the graves. Why would their bodies be taken out of the grave if their bodies weren't going to be transformed, their fleshly bodies? So when Jesus says he'll give us a new body, it's this body, I believe, but it will be transformed into a new one. So same body, but transformed into a brand new one without, without sin and nothing bad. And of course, we'll still have our memories of all the good things that we've done on earth. Otherwise, how could we recognize our family members and such in heaven? Recognizing people comes from our memory. If you don't recognize somebody, you don't remember them. It's like you've never met them. So, I just want to lay this important message on you guys today, this morning, because it is 8:01 a.m. It's important, and a lot of people these days are wishing that the world will go back to how it was, less evil. Well, here's the thing. No, it's not going to go back to, it's not going to decrease. It's only going to increase. But look forward for the rapture if you are truly born again. Romans 10:9, for if you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, believe it in your heart that God rose him from the dead, you shall be saved. So, and rapture ready. So, no, it's not going to decrease. It's only going to increase until the end of the world. But, and yes, things are going to, you think it's bad right now? We're living in bliss right now compared to what's gonna fall on the earth for whoever's left behind. When the 7-year tribulation happens, this world is horrible right now, but it's bliss compared to what's going to come onto the earth. And probably within the next couple years, too. So, I mean, all hell is going to be broken, is going to be unleashed to the earth, and, it's going to be literally hell on earth. And it's going to be the most horrific time that anybody's ever experienced. Nobody's ever experienced fear like they'll experience when if they're still alive and are unsaved and are on the earth when the tribulation happens. And of course, they'll experience a lot more fear when they go to the lake of fire, hell. But, they've never experienced fear like they'll experience in the tribulation. So, glad God is saving us from that horrific fate that's about to fall on earth. So, hope you guys enjoy.